Hi, it's Stacy, and today is Saturday, April 11th, 2020, as I'm recording the director's cut for this gig log that you're getting ready to see back from October 2018. And of course, with the COVID-19 crisis going on right now, we're not doing any new weddings or new gig logs or anything like that for the foreseeable near future. So I thought that it would be just nice to go back and take a look at some older gig logs and just add some different commentary, call it the cutting room floor gig logs or director's commentary, and just look back at some things and see it from a different point of view, maybe notice some things we didn't notice before. So the reason I chose this particular gig log today is because I was actually supposed to be doing a wedding at this particular venue. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be there now as I'm recording this, so of course that didn't happen with the COVID-19 crisis. So I thought we'd take a look back at the very first wedding I ever did at this facility. Now, it's called the Ace Ranch, and it's in Milton, Florida, just east of Pensacola. We're going down I-10 right now, headed toward Milton. And Ace Ranch was actually featured in the TV show Bridezillas. I know that they recorded the episode back in November, but I don't really follow that show, so I'm not sure if it's already aired or not. But if you're a fan of the show Bridezillas, this may look familiar to you if it's already aired. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this particular bride and groom. They actually hired me right at the last minute. And I can't remember what the reasoning was. I know that they had an issue with the other DJ that they had hired. I'm not sure if he had a family emergency, but anyway, he had to step out, so I was able to step in right at the last minute, like I said, about a week before the wedding. And I was able to, step in and help this bride and groom out, which was really a big help to them. And it was really hard planning everything within a week like that, but we were able to get it done. And it took a lot of hustling and working and all that, but it actually paid off in the end. Now here we are inside the facility, and this facility looks like a barn. I mean, it's a specific building that they've just created just to make it look like a barn. It doesn't have hay bales or anything like that, but you can see what they've done here. And at the time that this was recorded, I think this place may have only been open maybe a year. It's a fairly new facility. Anyway, there's some of the uplighting. I was using some of my megapixels there. I have 4 of them now. And you can see I use some par cans around the room as well. Now here we are outside of the ceremony location. This is just right outside the back door. And you can see my Fender Passport there, which is what I use for ceremonies. And I'll tell you what, this Fender Passport, it's a smaller system, but it really does put out a lot of power for a small system. I mean, it can fill a room just as good as my regular reception system. So, it really does create a neat effect. And if you're looking for a great ceremony sound system, or if you do like a lot of smaller events and like maybe people's houses or something like that, I definitely highly recommend getting a Fender Passport. Now here we are inside the reception facility again, and you'll notice the uplighting there, and they were doing the cake cutting, and of course it's now getting dark. And in the previous shot, you'll notice that they have a loft there at the facility. And I've done other weddings here since this particular wedding was recorded, and I've had brides and grooms ask me if I'd be interested in setting up in the loft upstairs, and I always tell them no. And I'll tell you why, because we have other facilities like that have similar lofts. And one of the main reasons, of course, is that you have steps there. They don't have elevator access, so it's going to be really hard to get the equipment up there, especially if you're a one-person operation like I am. But second and the third reasons are really the reasons that it discourages brides once I explain it to them. The second reason is because if you're set up there, people aren't going to want to climb the stairs to come make requests. If I'm set up on the floor right there at eye level with everybody else, it's going to be a lot easier for their guests to come and make requests, and that makes me more accessible to their friends and family. See what I'm saying? And everybody they want to make requests. But the third reason, and this is what really sells the brides on this idea of not setting up in the loft, is that your sound quality isn't going to be as great if you're up there above everybody like that than you were if you were on the ground. You're not going to get the bass that you want, and the lights really aren't going to work as well. So really your sound quality is going to suffer, and that's what I try to explain to brides. And that's really what sells them and why they say, okay, yeah, we see it your way. Let's go ahead and set you up down there on the floor. And so that's why I don't recommend setting up in a loft like that. Now, here we are with the spotlight dances. You just saw the father-bride dance just a second ago. And here's the mother-groom dance. Look at those kids there. They're having a good time running around. And I had a lot of kids make a request that night, so that was a lot of fun. And here we are now with the bride and groom's first dance. And this was just, like I said, just a very fun bride and groom. I really enjoyed working with them. Now that door that you see back there that's shut right off there to the right, that's actually the groom's room and where the groomsmen and everybody got ready. And I didn't really showcase this on the video. I wish I had. But when you walk in there, they got a neat pool table there, where they can go in there and shoot pool. And they've also got a flat screen TV. And I think a lot of the groomsmen, once the open dancing started, they all went there and started watching football because, of course, here in the South, this was right in the middle of football season. And college football pretty much rules everything around here. You probably heard me say that before. So that was a real neat facility. And I really enjoyed looking at that, the groom's room. That was just really nice. And here we are getting into open dancing now. And again, you can see everybody out there having a good time. And we started out with the Cupid Shuffle, which is a really good dance song to get everybody started and get everybody out there dancing because it's really involved and it really works out well. And there we go. They're out there having a good time. You see the kids out there having a good time as well. Now I've got the Revo 3 and the Revo 4 going there, and of course, even years later, that those are still very popular with my crowds. They really like that, especially kids. They love seeing the lights there on the ceiling and that kind of thing, and they're just mesmerized by it. And I think that yeah, LED lights are here to stay. That's for sure. That's the way to go if you're going to be doing any type of a mobile DJ. But of course, I can remember years ago when I first started out in 2003, I used to use the old halogen Parcan lights, and of course they would get hot. And you'd have to cut them off like 30 minutes before you start packing them up. Give them a chance to cool down. You don't have to do that with LED, and that's what I love about LED lights. And anyway, there we go. Everybody's having a good time. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Okay, if you're ever at a gig and nobody's out there dancing or they don't look like they're having a good time or something like that, which I'm sure they probably are, but always play a slow song. Here we are playing a slow song and that gets people out there. It works every time. Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong is a good one there. Alrighty, that little girl there, you see, I think that might have been the bride and groom's daughter, but anyway, she had a great time. She came up requesting a lot of songs, just a sweet little girl, and I really enjoyed having the chance to play her music and see her out there having a good time too. But you can tell she liked the camera too. And there we go with everybody having a good time there. They're out there dancing. And now that I'm talking about the dancing, I've seen a lot of DJs talk about, how they're worried that their event wasn't successful because a lot of people weren't out there dancing. But, you got to think about it. Maybe they're just not into dancing. I'm a perfect example of that. I'm not into dancing myself. I like to sit there and just enjoy the music. Now, there I am, of course, there as you saw just a second ago. That was back when I had a goatee. And I actually shaved my goatee about 2 weeks after this particular wedding gig log took place. And I've had a lot of people tell me they like me clean shaven better than they did when I had that goatee. They say that goatee made me look older. So I don't know. I think I've pretty much sold on that idea, and I like being clean shaven now again. So yeah, that's back when I had the goatee. One of the last videos of me with the goatee. And here we are. And during that particular time that you saw me talking there, they were actually doing their fake leave. Everybody had moved outside to pretend like it was the end of the reception just for the photographers because I think they were getting ready to leave. And during that time, I actually took some still photos of the facility with the uplighting, and you'll see those here at the end of the video in just a second. You can see how everything looked, and I actually used that to showcase uplighting to other brides so that they can see what it looks like. And they're really mesmerized by it. And this was, like I said, this is just a beautiful facility. And here we are. These are the ones that stayed after the fake leave was done, and they were dancing and having a good time out there. That first guy there you see in the hat, he came up and requested a lot of songs that night, and I remember he really had a good time as well. But you can see all the guys out there having a good time too. And one thing I do want to mention is that this particular wedding went for a long time. I think it started like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and we went all the way up to like 11 o'clock that night. So it was the one that lasted a pretty long time. And like I said a few minutes ago, you have a lot of DJs will say, well, people just weren't dancing and all that other stuff. There weren't that many dancers. But like I said, you may have people there that just aren't into dancing. I mean, that doesn't mean they're not enjoying the music or not having a good time. So yeah, and you can see that at this point they were already starting to clean up, and all these tables and everything were part of the facility. They had a closet there, so they started cleaning up a little early while people were out there still dancing and having a good time. And you can see that little girl there again; she was having a good time too. And back there you can see the groom's room. I don't know if you can really see the pool table back there, but that's where that was. And a lot of groomsmen had already gone back in there. And like I said, they were back there watching football and shooting pool during the time. You see these guys really had a good time there too. Yeah, that little girl there, she's jumping up and down. She's really having fun. Alrighty, now this was at the very end of the reception. Everybody had already left, and there I am again with my goatee. I don't know, leave me a comment. Do you like me better with the goatee or without it? Let's see what people say about that, okay? But anyway, here's a look at the facility after I'd already broken down the uplighting and everything, and I'd already packed up my system, and I was the only one left. I mean, everybody had already left at that point. And you can see I had a lot of my system already right there in that hallway. And that was good that I was able to have my DJ system set up right there in front of that hallway because nobody was going to be coming in and out of there. And then my van was parked right behind that door that you just saw. So it was a really nice load in, a real easy load in, and just a beautiful facility. So, it's one of my favorite facilities that I like to go to. And here we are. This was leaving the facility, and I don't know how well you can see that, but I was getting a deer there that had ran right there in front of the little road there that went right in front of the facility. But where this particular facility is located, they have a campground there and some other things right there around there. So it's a huge piece of property. So it's not just the wedding venue there. Alrighty, and this is in Pensacola. This isn't far from my house. And if you notice that gas station that we just passed, I think it said gas was like $2.52 a gallon, which back then in 2018 in October, it was that was considered gas being cheap. And of course, right now with gas under $2, we really feel blessed with that. With the gas prices that low. So anyway, enough about that. But now let's talk about the wedding gig log you just saw. Like I said, this was a really, really nice bride and groom, and I was really glad that I was able to, fill in for them right at the last minute. And it took a lot of hard work getting everything done there within a week. I mean, but we were able to do it. And that just shows that sometimes if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And we were able to pull this off. And like I said, it took a lot of hours for me working, and I had a lot of late nights that night getting everything set up for the bridegroom and everything else. But we were able to do it, and the bridegroom really had a great time. And I've seen this bride since this reception, and she told me that everybody still talks about what a good job I did and how much fun they had and all that good stuff. So that's always good. And I know that her and the groom are still together and having a good time, and they got a great marriage, and it's just great. I love to hear those stories, especially from brides that I've worked with in the past. And this bride and groom really stood out. I mean, they were just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them, and I really enjoyed meeting their friends and family and everybody else as well. Alrighty, so here's my little congratulations that I'll leave to the bride and groom at the end of the night. And right now we're going to take a look at some stills that I took during the fake leave. Now this wasn't at the end of the original gig log. I just added these. You can see some of the uplighting there, right there, the megapixels there. I got a megapixel there off to the left. That's where the cake was. And then you see some par cans there off to the right to create that effect. So that really looked nice. That was during the fake leave. You can see the bride and groom standing there, and everybody had formed two lines out there. But I thought it was just a great time for me to go ahead and get some shots of the uplighting. And I've actually used these pictures to other brides to showcase uplighting and showcase what it can do, what it looks like, and all that good stuff. And here we go. Here's another angle there. You can see some par cans. That's where they had the buffet set up, right there where those long tables are. And I just put some uplighting right there behind that, which created a really, really nice effect. And I was really impressed with how this looked. And I've done other weddings there, like I said, where we've done other uplighting too. But this was the first one I had done, and it really worked out well. And another thing is I want to mention too. I have brides that'll book like this facility or another facility, and they like looking at these pictures and videos from their facility so they can kind of imagine what their wedding is going to be like. So here we are. That's my DJ table there, and you can see one of my speakers there with the Scrim King and the uplighting behind it. And again, the uplighting just really looked nice, and I was just really impressed with how it came out. And that purple just really added a lot to those walls, and it looked beautiful, I thought. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave this. Thank you so much for watching. Certainly do appreciate that. We'll have another gig log next week. So until next time, practice and enjoy.